You say you want truth, but what you really want is truth that doesn't cost you anything. You want awakening without the death of who you think you are. You want freedom, but you still want to protect your opinions. You want love, but only if it agrees with your story. You don't fear ignorance. You fear what truth will take from you, because truth, real truth, does not upgrade your identity. It erases it. You claim you want to live consciously, but consciousness has no interest in your personal dreams. You want God, but you want Him to serve your plans. You want peace, but you don't want anything to end. You fear losing control, yet you have never been in control. You fear losing your image, yet your image has never been you. Truth is simple. Your attachments complicated. Listen carefully. You are not afraid of lies. You are afraid of life without your lies. Without your identity, who will you be? Without your history, what can you talk about? Without your wounds, who will you blame? What if no one is guilty? What if nothing is missing? What if there is nothing to fix? What will you do with a life that no longer revolves around you? People don't fear death. They fear the death of their story, because the story gives them a character, and that character demands a life of problems and drama to survive. The story needs conflict, so you stay offended. It needs someone to blame, so you stay angry. It needs an identity, so you stay wounded. It needs time, so you keep postponing peace. You don't protect your story. Your story is what's been controlling you. Truth is not kind to the false self. It does not comfort your illusions. It does not support what is not real. Truth has one purpose: to reveal what cannot be lost. When truth strips everything away, what remains is not a better version of you. It is what you were before the idea of you ever appeared. A silence that doesn't need validation. A presence that doesn't depend on a personality. A peace that does not need permission. This is what you fear, and this is what you are. Stop seeking truth as an improvement. Truth is not a decoration for your ego. Truth burns. Truth clears. Truth leaves nothing but reality, and reality does not serve your image. Reality does not negotiate with your preferences. Reality does not bend to your desires. Reality just is. To live in truth is to stop pretending, to stop performing, to stop protecting what isn't you. Let everything false die. Let every lie collapse. Let every identity fall away. Only then does fear leave you. Only then does suffering dissolve. Only then does bliss reveal itself not as a feeling, but as the nature of the one who is awake. The truth you fear is the freedom you crave. Let it take everything that never belonged to you. Let it take you home. Understand that consciousness is not personal. You believe you are a person who is aware, but awareness has never introduced itself as a person. Awareness has no name. It has no age. It has no history. It has no gender. It doesn't belong to a culture or a belief system. You are not someone who is aware. You are awareness appearing as someone. The person you think you are is a costume made of memory and imagination. Your likes and dislikes, your opinions and fears, your wounds and successes, they are all accessories. The one who is aware of these accessories is not made of them. Consciousness is not personal. It is not your consciousness. It does not belong to your body, your brain, your spirituality, your tribe, or your achievements. You don't own awareness. Awareness is what you are. When you say, I am conscious, you are trying to claim the infinite with a character that is temporary. You are trying to shrink the sky into the story of a cloud. But clouds do not own the sky. They appear and disappear in it. Thoughts appear in you. Feelings appear in you. the sense of me appears in you. You are the space in which everything comes and goes. Notice this. You can watch your thoughts, which means you cannot be a thought. You can notice your feelings, which means you are not a feeling. You can observe your personality, which means you are not a personality. You can witness the sense of me, which means you are not even the me. The witness is always free from what it witnesses. You spend your life protecting your identity, like a wave arguing that it is separate from the ocean. But identity is just movement in awareness, a pattern, a momentary swirl of existence. When the wave relaxes, it remembers it is water. When the person relaxes, they discover they are presence. You do not need to be somebody to be alive, to be safe, to be loved, to be real. You only need to stop pretending that consciousness is something personal, something you can improve, something you can lose, something you can own. Awareness cannot be upgraded. It cannot be fixed. It cannot be broken. It is the only part of you that has never been touched by experience. If consciousness were personal, it would change with your mood. It would shrink when you make mistakes. It would expand when someone praises you. It would age with your body. But awareness does not age. It doesn't grow wiser with time. It doesn't get enlightened. It is already whole, already empty, already infinite. You do not awaken. You stop claiming what you are not. Understand this. Consciousness does not belong to the character in your mind. The character belongs to consciousness. Your story is happening in you. Your personality is happening in you. Your life situation is happening in you. The one aware of all of it is untouched by all of it. So let the mind think. Let emotions flow. Let life unfold. None of it can disturb what you are. You are the open sky, not the weather. When this is lived, not believed, suffering becomes impossible, because suffering belongs to the character, not to the awareness that sees the character. And awareness has no problems. Consciousness is not personal. It is universal, impersonal, infinite. It is the ground of being, the home of peace, the source of bliss. You are not a person trying to wake up. You are awareness, discovering you were never asleep. This discovery threatens the end of the ego. When the ego realizes it cannot survive through ordinary identity, it evolves a new strategy. It becomes the spiritual self. It stops chasing power through the world and starts chasing power through spirituality. The same ego that wanted reputation now wants enlightenment. The ego that wanted admiration now wants to be seen as awakened. It does not disappear. It simply puts on holier clothing. It says, I am more conscious than others. I understand what people do not. I am beyond ego. It becomes proud of humility. It becomes arrogant about surrender. It becomes competitive about wisdom. The spiritual ego no longer seeks material possession, but it fiercely seeks spiritual identity. Listen carefully. The last mask of ego is the one that claims to be free of ego. The spiritual ego wants to keep your story alive, but now it calls the story awakening. It wants a new identity with better moral status. It wants to be someone who knows, someone who transcends, someone who is special. But awareness is not special. It is universal, impersonal, common to everyone. You cannot be special in what everyone is. Ego can meditate. Ego can read holy texts. Ego can chant mantras. Ego can teach spirituality. Ego can preach love, compassion, forgiveness, and stay completely intact. The ego is not threatened by spirituality. It is threatened by the absence of a self to protect. When you strip spirituality of its identity, nothing remains but presence. No image, no teachings to display, no status to defend, no superiority to claim, just naked being. And the ego cannot survive nakedness. It needs clothing. It needs labels. It needs something to claim. You can experience profound states, yet still remain the same me trying to own them. You can have visions, awakenings, epiphanies, but the ego will hijack them and say, "This happened to me, therefore I am awakened." But the true self does not awaken. The illusion falls away. You don't become enlightened. You stop pretending to be someone separate from what is always awake. Real spirituality is not about improving your character. It is about seeing that your character is just a temporary role. Real transformation is not adding purity to the me. It is seeing there is no me to purify. Real wisdom is not becoming a better self. It is discovering you are not a self at all. Awareness is not interested in your spiritual image. It does not reward you for being virtuous or pure. It does not judge your past or bless your future. Awareness does not choose favorites. It simply is. And in its presence, the spiritual ego dies. Not through effort, but through exposure. Not through achievement, but through honesty. Not through becoming, but through being. You cannot own truth. You cannot wear awakening. You cannot perform consciousness. To pretend to be enlightened is to hide a false identity behind sacred language. When the pretending ends, there is nothing left to protect. Only reality remains. The ego does not die by fight. It dies when you stop impersonating who you are. Spirituality without identity reveals the self beyond all masks. And that self does not need to awaken. It is awakening itself. Bliss accompanies awakening. Bliss is often misunderstood. People imagine it as joy, euphoria, ecstasy, a peak experience, a magnificent high. But bliss is not an emotion. It is not pleasure. It is not a state of mind. Bliss is the natural fragrance of a mind that is not resisting life. Feelings rise and fall. Emotions appear and dissolve. States intensify, then fade away. But bliss is constant, not because it is intense, but because it is effortless. Bliss is not something you feel. It is something you stop interfering with. Understand this deeply. Suffering does not come from what happens. Suffering comes from resistance to what happens. When resistance collapses, bliss remains not as excitement, but as obvious peace. Not as emotion, but as the absence of internal conflict. The mind thinks bliss is something to add, something to attain through effort, practice, control. But you cannot produce bliss. You can only stop obscuring it. Bliss is the default state when nothing is being manipulated. When you chase emotional highs, you are seeking a stronger mask, not freedom. Peak emotions cannot liberate you. They come with conditions. They require the right moment, the right trigger, the right circumstance. But bliss is unconditional. It does not require improvements in your life. It only requires the end of inner resistance. Notice something simple. When you stop arguing with the moment, even for a few seconds, what appears? A quiet ease, a simple okayness, a clarity that doesn't need anything. This subtle peace is the foundation of bliss. Bliss is not dramatic. It is not loud. It does not perform. It is completely ordinary and profoundly liberating. You don't need to feel bliss. You only need to stop insisting that reality must be different. Stop negotiating. Stop tightening around preferences. Stop forcing the world to validate your story. Without resistance, even discomfort does not become suffering. Even sadness becomes spacious. Even pain becomes honest and open. Bliss is not the absence of pain. It is the absence of struggle. Let this truth settle. Bliss is what remains when there is no fight in the mind. To live in bliss is not to feel good all the time. It is to stop making your inner state wrong. It is to let the mind be what it is without turning it into a problem. Emotions stop being enemies. Thoughts stop being threats. Life stops being a battlefield. Bliss is neutrality, not indifference, but intimate allowing. A recognition that nothing inside needs to be changed before you can be at peace. You do not achieve bliss. You recognize it the moment you stop protecting who you think you are and what you think should happen. Bliss is not a feeling. It is the nature of a mind that has surrendered its argument with reality. Return to that simplicity, and bliss reveals itself not as a blessing you earn, but as what you have always been. This is when you encounter freedom. Freedom is not a better version of your story. It is the end of needing a story at all. You believe liberation will make your life more meaningful, give you a purpose, make your journey special, give shape to your identity. But real freedom does not create a new identity. It dissolves the need for one. Here is the refrain. There is no story in what you truly are. The story you have believed in is the fiction created by the false identity. The mind wants to be someone who has healed, someone who has awakened, someone who has survived, someone who has overcome. It wants a narrative of victory, a destiny, a spiritual biography. But freedom is not an achievement. It is the recognition that the one who seeks achievement is a fictional character. There is no story in what you truly are. Stories require time. They require identity. They require a role to play. Your suffering continues because you are trying to secure a meaningful position in a dream. You want significance. You want validation. You want a witness to your triumph. But awareness does not need to be important. It has no desire for recognition. There is no story in what you truly are. Notice this. Whatever happened to you is memory. Whatever will happen is imagination. Only what is here now is real. Everything else is narrative, a collection of interpretations designed to protect an identity that does not exist. The story is playing itself out in awareness, but awareness is untouched by the story. There is no story in what you truly are. You fear letting the story go because you believe your story is your value. You believe your suffering made you deep, your pain made you wise, your trauma made you strong, your survival makes you important. But that is how the ego defends its position. Your value is not in your wounds. Your truth is not in your history. Your essence is not shaped by what happened. Awareness has never been scarred. Consciousness has never been broken. There is no story in what you truly are. Freedom becomes possible the moment you stop trying to become someone liberated. You do not become free. You recognize the one trying to be free is just another character in the script. When the acting stops, reality remains present, silent, unconditional. This is liberation, not the fulfillment of a story, but the collapse of the storyteller. There is no story in what you truly are. Let your identity fall. Let your history fade. Let your narrative dissolve into silence. You don't lose anything real. You only lose the burden of protecting a character. What remains is not a heroic self. It is presence without a role, being without a biography, alive without interpretation. There is no story in what you truly are. Freedom is the end of performance, the end of needing to become, the end of trying to matter. Freedom is not who you become. It is what you return to when you stop imagining yourself. There is no story in what you truly are. The real tragedy is when you begin to think that to be happy in life is a negotiation. Suffering is not created by what happens. Suffering is created by your attempt to bargain with reality. You want what is not happening to happen. You want what is happening to stop. You want an outcome that is not here yet, and you refuse the one that has arrived. This is the negotiation. This is the conflict. This is the root of suffering. You don't argue with life out loud. You argue silently in the mind. I need that person to change. This situation should be different. I should not feel this way. It's not supposed to be like this. These thoughts are not reactions. They are demands. They are attempts to control the uncontrollable. This is resistance disguised as logic. Life is not asking for your approval. The moment does not need your agreement. Reality does not wait for you to accept it. It simply is. Your opinions, your preferences, your disappointment, they have no authority over what is happening. The negotiation is imaginary, but the suffering it creates feels real. Understand this deeply. You cannot control what happens. You can only control your argument with it. End the argument, and suffering has no ground to stand on. The mind does not know how to live without negotiation. It thinks surrender means losing. It believes acceptance is weakness. It sees allowing life as passivity. But surrender is not collapsing. It is clarity. It is intelligence. It is alignment with what is already true. You are not giving up control. You are admitting you never had it. When you stop negotiating with reality, you don't become passive. You become precise. You respond appropriately to the situation instead of fighting it. Your actions become clean, not frantic. Your decisions become direct, not emotional. Your words become clear, not defensive. Why? Because you are no longer trying to force life into your story. You are moving with reality, not against it. Listen carefully. You do not need life to agree with you for you to be at peace. You do not need outcomes to match your expectations for you to be free. Peace is not what happens after the world behaves. Peace is what remains when you stop demanding that it must. Life will not negotiate, so stop the invisible bargaining. Stop the mental courtroom. Stop the silent debate. Life is not something you win. It is something you participate in. For the next hour, do not argue with anything. Not a thought, not a feeling, not a person, not a situation. Let everything be exactly as it is and see what remains when resistance ends. Don't add commentary. Don't demand change. Don't negotiate with this moment. Just meet life without argument. Do this, and you will discover a truth more powerful than control. When you stop resisting life, life stops hurting you. You begin to experience love without ownership. Love is not something you can possess, not even when it feels intimate, deep, or lifelong. Not even when the world calls it commitment. Not even when you have history, memories, and promises. Possession is not love. Ownership is not devotion. Control is not care. Love contracts when you try to keep it. Love expands when you let it be. You believe that if someone loves you, they should respond the way you prefer. They should make you feel secure. They should choose you in the ways you expect. But that is not love. That is needing someone to behave in service to your emotions. Love does not require agreement. Love does not demand sameness. Love does not insist on being understood. Love does not belong to you. It flows through you. Consider this real-life example. If you love me, you wouldn't need space. If you loved me, you would let me breathe. Both believe they are defending love. Neither sees they are actually defending ownership. Person A wants love to stay close to feel secure. Person B wants love to stay open to feel real. But real love is not proximity. Real love is permission. If love cannot breathe freely, it becomes a cage. When you demand someone stay near you or stay the same, you are not protecting the relationship. You are protecting your insecurities. Love does not require someone to fit your comfort. Love gives them the freedom to be truthful. Ownership says, you must choose me. Love says, I want what is true for you, even if it challenges me. Ownership demands reassurance. Love offers space without fear. Ownership wants control. Love wants clarity. Ownership tries to shape someone into what it needs. Love meets them as they are. Understand this deeply. Love without freedom is attachment. Attachment pretending to be love. The ego wants to claim what it desires. It wants to stamp love with ownership and call it devotion. It wants a contract, not a connection. That is not love. That is fear wearing romantic language. When you allow love without ownership, you are not losing connection. You are removing control from the connection. Then love becomes honest. Then love becomes simple. Then love becomes fearless, because nothing needs to be forced. Nothing needs to be guaranteed. Nothing needs to be protected. Only illusion needs protection. Love needs nothing. Let someone be themselves, and you will see whether love is real. If love requires behavior, it isn't love. If love demands agreement, it isn't love. If love collapses when someone acts truthfully, it was never love, only expectation. Love is revealed through freedom, not through possession. To love without ownership is not passive. It is the highest intelligence of the heart. It is seeing clearly. I do not own your choices. I do not own your path. I do not own your life. Then love becomes devotion without demand, connection without control, care without fear. This is the love of consciousness, not the love of the ego. Choose one person you care about. For the next 24 hours, do not demand they agree with you. Do not assume they must reassure you. Do not pressure them to respond how you prefer. Let them be who they are. Let them choose freely. Let them think, feel, and speak without your emotional contract. Observe what happens when love does not need possession. You will discover the highest form of love is freedom. This understanding opens you up to a stark truth. Consciousness needs nothing from you. Why do you believe awareness needs your help to be what you already are? You try to improve yourself to become more conscious, as if consciousness was missing something. You try to purify your mind to earn awakening, as if awareness can be contaminated. You try to quiet thoughts, heal wounds, transcend habits, as if being depends on behavior. But consciousness has never asked you to change. It has never required progress. It has never needed your success. Reality is complete before you interfere with it. You are trying to become worthy of something you already are. You meditate to become more aware, yet you need awareness just to sit and meditate. You try to think less, yet it takes awareness to notice thoughts. You try to fix yourself, yet awareness sees the fixer and the brokenness. You cannot improve what is watching. You can only stop trying to manage it. Consciousness does not evolve. Only your idea of yourself changes. Understand this. If you believe you must perform consciousness, you have confused spirituality with self-image. You are trying to appear awakened instead of recognizing what cannot wake or sleep. Awareness does not become better when you behave well. It does not become worse when you make mistakes. It does not gain purity when you practice devotion. It does not lose purity when you fail. Awareness is untouched by the story of you. You live as if consciousness depends on your perfection, as if the infinite needs your improvement to remain whole, as if the absolute is waiting for you to fix your personality. This is ego hidden in spiritual clothing. Consciousness does not need your discipline. Your discipline is for your mind, not for awareness. Listen carefully. Meditation does not make you conscious. It reveals that you were never unconscious. Surrender does not give you peace. It exposes that peace does not depend on your choices. Healing does not complete you. It shows you were never incomplete. Spiritual growth does not add anything to the self. It removes the illusion that something was missing. You believe spirituality is work, but it is actually the end of work. You think awakening is achievement, but it is the end of striving. The one trying to awaken is the one that cannot awaken. Awareness is not waiting. It is not progressing. It is not becoming. It simply is. When you stop trying to manage consciousness, you return to what you cannot control. You return to what you cannot lose. You return to what you cannot improve. You return to the effortless. You discover that everything you were trying to earn was already present before you began seeking. For the next 24 hours, whenever you feel the need to fix, improve, or become something, stop. Not through resistance, but through recognition. Awareness needs nothing from me. Let that sentence be your pause. Let it interrupt the spiritual performer. Let it expose the one trying to help reality. Do nothing. Do not fix. Do not improve. Just notice. What you are does not require your effort. Only your illusion does. Your suffering is a false identity. Suffering is not a feeling. Suffering is the identity that grows around a feeling. A sensation arises. A thought interprets it. The mind turns it into a personal story. That story becomes me, and me begins to suffer. The pain is not the problem. The identity built around the pain is the problem. When sadness comes, the mind says, "This shouldn't be happening to me." When anger comes, the mind says, "Someone is wronging me." When insecurity appears, the mind declares, "I am not enough." Notice, the feeling is simple, the story is complex, and it is the story you suffer, not the feeling. Pain is a sensation. Fear is a reaction. Sadness is an emotional weather. None of it contains identity. None of it claims to be you. Only the mind assigns ownership. Only the mind says, "My pain, my fear, my sadness." And the moment you say "my," you become the character who suffers that pain. Observe something quietly. A feeling lasts seconds. A story can last a lifetime. Which one is truly hurting you? The sensation rises and dissolves like a wave. The story keeps returning because you keep believing it. Feelings come to pass, stories come to stay, but only because you keep feeding them with belief. Here is a deeper truth. Suffering requires identity. Without a me, pain cannot turn into suffering. Pain does not need ownership. Fear does not need a character. Sadness does not need a biography. Emotions are innocent. Interpretation makes them heavy. You are not suffering the feeling. You are suffering the someone the mind invented to experience it. The ego builds emotional identities to survive. When it cannot maintain control through thoughts, it survives through wounds. When opinions fail, it clings to hurt. When pride collapses, it clings to trauma. When superiority breaks down, it clings to victimhood. If the ego cannot be important, it will settle for being injured. But either way, it needs to be somebody. Understand this slowly, deeply. The moment you stop trying to protect your pain has nothing left to protect. The moment you stop believing your story, your suffering has nowhere left to live. The moment you stop claiming the feeling comes and goes like weather. You discover nothing was ever happening to you. It was just happening, and you were the awareness watching it. You do not heal by fixing the pain. You heal by seeing the one who suffers is imagined. You do not awaken by eliminating wounds. You awaken by not turning wounds into identity. The pain was never you. It was an experience. It arrived. It passed. It will pass again, but the identity built around it, that is optional, and it dissolves when you stop feeding it with belief. You become the witness, not the victim. For the next 24 hours, when any emotion rises, do not ask, why is this happening to me? Ask instead, what life is moving through me now without needing a me. Let the sensation be sensation. Let the wave be a wave. Let the weather be weather. Do not turn it into a character. Do not turn it into a story. Do not turn it into you. The moment you stop claiming your suffering stops claiming you. And that is the death of self-importance. People believe ego only shows up as pride, arrogance, superiority. But one of ego's strongest disguises is inferiority. Feeling less than is still being obsessed with me. It is self-importance inverted. The ego does not care how it remains the center, as long as it remains the center. If it cannot be special by winning, it will be special by losing. If it cannot feel important through success, it will feel important through suffering. If it cannot be admired, it will settle for being pitied. Either way, it gets to remain someone. Listen carefully. I am not good enough and I am better than others are the same ego wearing different faces. Both revolve around a me that demands importance. One does it by rising above, the other by falling below. One uses achievement, the other uses failure, but the core is identical. Me, me, me. Inferiority appears humble. It appears vulnerable. It appears sensitive, but it still places me at the center of every situation. If someone is happy, the mind says, I don't deserve that. If someone succeeds, the mind says, I will never be like them. If someone loves you, the mind says, I am not worth loving. Do you see? Even your pain is still about you. This is not humility. This is self-obsession disguised as weakness. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. Humility is not thinking about yourself so much. To stop measuring your worth is to stop feeding the imaginary self that wants to be valued, positively or negatively. Real humility is the absence of self-concern. It is not I am nothing. It is simply the end of asking, what about me? Inferiority is a strategy. It gives the ego identity without responsibility. It provides a sense of specialness without action. It offers self-importance without accomplishment. If you believe you are broken, you never have to show up authentically. If you believe you are unworthy, you never have to risk genuine connection. If you believe you lack value, you never have to face the truth of who you are. You protect the ego by diminishing yourself. The belief in inferiority does not liberate you. It keeps you safe from exposure, safe from vulnerability, safe from intimacy, safe from living fully. But freedom is not safe. Truth demands you stop hiding, not by becoming great, but by ceasing to defend an image of being less than. When self-importance dies, you stop needing to prove your value. You stop needing your story to justify your existence. You stop needing to be someone at all. You become simple, ordinary, unburdened. This is humility, not an act but a natural absence of identity. For the next days, whenever the mind says, I am not enough, I am too weak, others are better, do not argue with it, do not improve it, do not heal it. Just recognize quietly. This is ego pretending to be small to stay important. See it, name it honestly, then drop it. Do not fix it. Stop identifying with it. Inferiority only lives when you protect it. When you stop feeding it, self-importance dies and humility appears on its own. You have spent your life trying to become something, trying to earn worth, trying to prove value, trying to win love, respect, peace, belonging. This search did not fail because you were weak. It failed because bliss cannot be earned. Bliss is not a reward. Bliss is not an achievement. Bliss is not the result of effort. Bliss is what remains when the effort ends. Your struggles were not a path to bliss. Your stories were not a gateway to truth. Your spiritual practices did not build a bridge to what you are. They exhausted you until you could no longer sustain the pretending. And in that exhaustion, something gave up, something loosened, something stopped negotiating. In that moment, bliss was not created. Bliss was revealed. Bliss is not the peak of life. It is the ground of life. It is not something you reach. It is something you stop covering. Bliss is not the flame you ignite. It is the heat that remains when the ego burns out. You learn that you cannot possess love, so your heart opened. You discovered awareness is not personal, so your identity loosened. You saw suffering is a false self, so your wounds stopped defining you. And finally, you stopped trying to be someone. This is the great victory. You surrendered the illusion. You did not reinvent it. Bliss is the freedom of being nothing and losing nothing. You were bliss before you learned to pretend. You will be bliss after you forget how. For the rest of your life, whenever the mind tries to grasp, improve, defend or perform, do not tighten, do not correct, do not resist. Simply remember, bliss is who I am when I stop pretending. Say it as a fact, not a mantra. Say it as reality, not aspiration. Let it end the search. Let it end the effort. Let it end the story and stand triumphant, not as a self-improved, but as a self-revealed. Awake, effortless, blissful. You, house of luminosity, enter the light within. Watch this next video to continue your blissful journey in luminosity.